Hey, did you see this Sydney Sweeney ad campaign? People talking about eugenics, people letting it distract from the important stuff. Epstein?
Yes, I did see it.
Okay. I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
And then you would. We were trying something new and it got ruined. What's the picture?
Okay, wait. I need to pull up my little script because I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm dying. I also didn't pick a patron of the day.
Oh, no.
Okay, go to patreon.com/calltheline. Patrons get lots of exclusive content that not everybody gets. You also can be a patron of the day. And also, we are doing really fun things like the Line Con and planning lots of fun events. So go to patreon.com/calltheline. You know?
We're like, what if we had just a little teaser that helps us before we get started and then we do the normal thing? Maybe that'll help draw people in. They'll like it. You know what? I've been waiting to say this. Today's patron of the day. Let me put the loop back on. Let's do it. Do you have your thing up now? Can we do it?
Wait, it like logged me out. So I need to get, get logged back in.
Today's patron of the day is your mom. There's a person in the comments. Their name was your mom. Patron of the day. Thank you, your mom. Patrons get the show always ad-free and access to the bonus show, plus new exciting things coming up that you don't want to miss, including, as Alyssa was getting on, access to LineCon on Live, which all of our patrons, $5 and up, will get immediate, the after it's done, they'll get to watch it, the replay, the whole thing. But if you're on the $15 a month club, you actually get to participate and attend live. So that's what's going on. That's the deal. Let's make this piece of YouTube says we can say it now in the very beginning. Shit.
Oh my gosh.
What up, fuckers? Because they just changed the policy and I watched their video and they were like, hey guys, guess what? We know you didn't like the unpopular no swearing in the first 2 minutes of the video thing. And so we're getting rid of it, you fucking assholes. You fucking dickbags. You can come in and curse up a fucking storm. And now we won't be
there's going to be
demonetized.
One person in the comment that's going to be like, I just really wish that I love Jimmy, but I just really wish that he wouldn't cuss all the time. I just feel like, it makes him just sound not as intelligent and whatever.
To me, I'm like, then you don't love me. Cussing is an important part of my personality. So this whole idea, first of all, let's be clear. You don't love me. The people, I love when people are like, when they'll start a comment with something like that, like usually I love Jimmy or I think Jimmy is so smart or blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, well, you're starting with all of your mistakes, right? When I describe my distaste for the concept of having heroes, I am including myself in that. Do not have heroes. You can admire the work people do. You can admire characteristics, but like, especially parasocial heroes, it's fucking nuts. I might have murdered 9 people this morning, and that would be like the best of the ways I could disappoint you. Right? Because nowadays we're talking about islands and files that...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, God, I wish he was just a murderer.
Right. Yeah, I don't really think I have like heroes now that I'm thinking about it. Like if someone were to ask me like, who's your hero? I think the closest I would say is like Esther Perel or the Gottmans. But the reason that I would feel that way is because of their work. Like I don't know anything about them personally. Yeah,
I'm definitely like, there are people who will pop up and my excitement isn't them. Even in being enthusiastic for Bernie back in the day, I also would point out and still do, that dude is so full of himself. But it's kind of like, but let's celebrate that we are headed toward a world where somebody can have views like his and still have some kind of career in politics, have some kind of representation and stuff like that. So recently, as Zohran Mamdani has happened, I'm like, fuck yeah, like, woo, goes around. And certainly I like elements that are personal to him. I like that the next mayor is probably a socialist Muslim, progressive. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Islam, quite the opposite. But he has a humanism that seems to precede whatever Islam he still has going. And I like that let's be real. A lot of people are real upset because he's brown. Because a lot of his policy stuff isn't more extreme than other mayors have been. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think
there's
people
just a
are
different kind of hate that, not Bloomberg. Who was the other one that sucks so bad? De Blasio.
Oh.
Mayor. No, that's governor. Yeah. De Blasio. Oh, yeah. Remember how De Blasio was like, well, some of his things, it's like, he's kind of almost pushing into like left to left. Like he's almost like a liberal in the European sense as opposed to the normal American sense.
Yeah.
But then he also just sucked.
Well,
but he didn't get the kind of hate.
The thing that always shocks me is when people talk about this goes for like anywhere in the US, I think. Anywhere in the world, probably. Anytime we talk about programs that really worked, they're always socialist programs. So like even down to like the libraries and shit, I'm like, you understand what this is, right? Because it's free and we can all use it. And so things like that. But unfortunately, there's so much fear mongering around that word and around a person who is brown and a person who is wanting to be progressive. And so they're going to make every idea that he has sound insane. When in reality, like they're going to be no different than like a lot of the other programs we already have in place that people love so much.
Do you know what I find too is the people who can't allow any progress to happen unless they get 100% of their way. The people who won't vote because it's not the perfect choice, won't vote for the better one because it's not the perfect one. The people who will just freak out at a person only being 98% an ally and still having 2% of the work to do. I find a lot of them do have deep hero complexes, like not just themselves being a hero, definitely main character syndrome in a lot of their cases as well. But this sort of addresses like people on my own side that I can't stand, but they tend to have a prophet-like reverence for a character. And I probably had fans like this in the past, and now the concept repulses me, and I don't think I have any fans like that anymore. I would be very surprised if anybody's like, oh, I would die for Jimmy, because I fucking don't. If you have a chance to live or I die, just live. You know?
Just live.
Just live. It's fine. Once I'm dead, I won't mind at all. Okay?
Yeah, right.
And the weird thing is neither will anyone else.
I was going to say, I'm going to mind, though.
But
like,
there's this like people who would radicalize or go do violence in the name of like a Twitch streamer. You know what I mean? Where it's like, and there are people whom I appreciate many of their contributions in their work. The one you should never name, because then the people who are the problem I'm describing are going to be mad. But like, there's things about Hassan, who that I like very much. And I like that he has presented a very good case for actual leftist positions while being a very imperfect leftist himself. But, you know, it is what it is. And I think that the world is better because of the progress we are making and that he has been a part of that. And the people who I can't stand the most on the left are either obsessed with loving him or obsessed with hating him. It's like both. It's like the people who would die for him and the people who would kill him. Yeah. I hold in almost equal. I would say if you would kill him, you're worse than the people who would die for him, right?
Yeah.
Right. But personality-wise, you kind of suck equally. And there's a lot of people like that where it's like, and he's not, and obviously people would look at me and be like, well, here are the reasons I don't think Jimmy's a perfect ally. And I find most of these people who believe that they have achieved perfection because they aren't doing much. So it's like, of all the things I'm actually doing, I never veer off course. But all the things I'm actually doing are responding in Reddit threads.
Right. Well, I also think that we are experiencing a death of nuance.
Oh, boy.
That is honestly an uphill battle every fucking day of my life on the internet. Like, you can't say anything without a person being like, well, actually, there's nuance to everything. Humans love to see things in black and white. We love to put things in like little categories, and I get that. Yeah. There needs to be some implied nuance. Like, just
explore the nuance a little bit, asshole.
Yeah.
The worst part is that you can present the nuance and they'll just pretend you didn't.
Yeah.
There's a person in the comment section from the show last night. I think I banned them because they got too crazy, but they were accusing me. I'll let people go pretty far. They were accusing me of being like an explicit anti-Semite and saying that on an episode, I said that I don't believe the state of Israel existing is moral. And I was like, okay, but we're not talking about the concept of the state of Israel. There is a conceptual state of Israel that could be moral in that I am describing that the state of Israel was founded on apartheid and is continuing its colonial apartheid. It is continuing to have an open air prison and now continuing a genocide. So in this way, the state of Israel and its existence is immoral. Not that it couldn't have. We could have negotiated and given them Florida and it would be a perfectly moral place for them to all inhabit. And honestly, I think the world would be happier. I'd be happy to be done with Florida. Just let Israel have Florida. But anyway, there was somebody who was like, that joke's anti-Semitic. And this was in defense of a guy who the person's doing this while defending a caller who called in to basically say it's not a genocide, agreed that Israel essentially is doing everything Hamas is doing, but it's okay that Israel is doing it. But worse, by the way, it's like, what about the hostages? Do you support Hamas? And I literally said, I don't support Hamas because I don't agree with murdering civilians for your political means. Do you support the IDF? Because that's why I don't support the IDF either. And he was like, well, but it's okay when they do it. It's like, wait, the criteria by which you said it's not okay to support Hamas, you've agreed Israel does it, but it's special when they do it.
Right.
And anyway, and so then he also tried to take another part where he was like, and to another caller, he said, he doesn't hate Israelis or Jews on that on the basis of them being Israelis or Jews, which is him saying he does hate them just for other reasons. And it was like, no, you fucking idiot. It means there are Israelis and Jews like Netanyahu who I hate, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they are Israeli or Jewish. It means that you're not special for being an Israeli or being a Jew, and therefore I won't remove you from people I could potentially hate, but you aren't. Just like every other human, I will judge you for no reason but your deeds. Like that is so fucking. And this guy is like, he's admitting he's an anti. He's like, if I just rephrase and I present this in the most bad faith way possible that the surrounding context obviously precludes. Anyway. My finger itches so bad.
Was that the crazy thing that happened in your comment section yesterday?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That was one of them. I think there was other ones. There's just a lot of people, it's not a genocide. And I'm like, at this point, the only people who don't agree it's a genocide, it's getting down to being just some senators and Netanyahu's government. Yeah. Because even Israeli human rights groups are calling it that.
When you have Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Bad point.
Why?
I called that out.
She said it.
Last night with Matt, I called that out too. I was like, we have to stop saying that because Marjorie Taylor Greene says it because she is an anti-Semite. Do you know what I mean? It's like she's not actually saying it because she agrees with our breakdown of it. And certainly she doesn't have any love for the Palestinians and think that the civilian stuff happening there is. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a raging anti-Semite. And this is because she sees a group of people she potentially could work with to the end of undermining Israel. It's kind of like when the Klan shows up to stuff like that, and you're like, you have to kick out the Klan. You can't have people at like pro-Palestine riots be actually anti-Semites. You can't have people marching with Nazi stuff. And if you don't kick the Nazi out of your party, your now supposedly righteous cause is now a Nazi cause. And so embracing her as an ally means we're now that would make her a Nazi.
She's not an ally. She's definitely not an ally, and I never felt she was. But for her to call it a genocide publicly, I'll take that isolated thing, regardless of her intention in sharing that, because it's just,
to me it'd be like, I believe in evolution because I had a visit from a demon and he told me it was true, and be like, okay, so please, let's all listen to how evolution is true, except from that guy. Let's not listen to the demon guy. Okay.
The demon guy.
But evolution is true. Shut up, Hank. You know his name's Hank. Shut the fuck up, Hank.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
Anyway, I kind of like the name Hank.
Hank is an interesting name. Like, who looks at their kid and names him Hank? It has to be a nickname, right?
They name him Henry. Hank is short for Henry. You know, Henry. That name with a "k" sound in it, short for Henry, is perhaps only to be outdone by Charles, which can be shortened to Chuck.
Or
I'm sitting here with a 2-syllable name that is literally short for a 1-syllable name. Jimmy is short for James.
Yeah.
I made the name longer.
That's so funny.
It's not even less letters. It's
not less letters. It's not less syllables. Why did we do this?
Technically, it's Jim, which even then, like, was 5 letters too much for you? Were you worried that people were you thought maybe they would think that there were multiple James around? You're like, I'm just one James. I'm just one. I'm not many James.
I'm just an isolated James.
I'm a single man.
Just a James.
I'm an individual.
Just a James on the town. I'm getting very close to changing your name to James.
Jane would be kind of funny. People would just hear Jane if you try to do it out loud, though. You know what I mean?
I'm doing it right now.
James is calling.
James Snow.
James Snow.
The picture.
James Snow almost makes it sound like James again, though.
Yeah, I guess. Should I just take Snow out? Maybe I will. So it just comes up whenever you call, it'll just say James. The picture is so old.
Ugh. That gives me, I was telling people last night how we're going to be changing the outros on a lot of the clips because I saw some recently and went, okay, I know that people want these, that there are people who complain that these aren't funny and I like to keep putting them up because it annoys them. But I'm getting body dysmorphia looking at my old videos.
Every time I see them, because like when I'm uploading the clips and I see them at the end, because now I'm like checking to make sure they're there. Yeah. When I look and I see there's one that like looks like a newsroom. I can't remember like what you.
Wait, are you taking the old clips and not putting your old outro on? Your own?
So I do that with some of them, but sometimes I'm lazy and I just leave yours on there.
You can't. Well, as long as you add your own. But if you just one for one upload it, eventually YouTube's going to strike both our channels.
Oh.
For repeated content. You have to modify it. So please take any down you didn't modify.
Okay. That's really important information to know. And that's what I'm going to be spending part of my afternoon doing tomorrow.
I know. I told her before, but it's okay.
I didn't remember that. Anyway, so glad that came up.
Generally, what will happen is when the strikes happen, the disputes happen, and then they look into it, and you can get your whole... We wouldn't get deleted because we are the source material. Your channel can get completely deleted for it.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Or be reminded of, rather. Anyway, that clip is... It's a whole different person. Who is that?
Who's who?
The ending clip.
Oh, yeah. Looks like my dad now to me. I'm like, ugh.
It's a little crazy.
My dad could never grow a beard, so it's not quite. But I get a lot of. I've not worked through everything. There's some more therapy to get through because I'm like, I shouldn't feel this much contempt for my old self. Like more than anything, it's not that he's overweight; it's that he's sick. And so I think that's where a lot of the contempt comes too. Where I just look back and I'm like, this just represents the worst physical and psychological period of my life. Which obviously I kept a lot of that. Most people don't know it was that bad until sometimes I'll like, but this last year has been pretty, in comparison, since last fall has been much better. It's been a much improvement, but the 2 years prior to that are some of the worst of my life. So I I just look back. And so when I see those videos, I'm just like taken back there, I think a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that makes sense.
Yes, I'm overweight and that's unfortunate, but I was overweight when I started my channel almost 8 years ago. It'll be 8 years next March, next February. I was overweight, not as much as I got to when I was sick, but I was overweight. And now I'm like on that cusp where if I gain like 5 pounds, I'd be at the beginning end of overweight again, which is funny because that shows.
Really?
Yeah, I think people look at me right now and it's like, you might need to gain 5 pounds, buddy. Maybe not. And like, maybe work out a little or something. But yeah, I'm at that cusp. I'm in the in the zone where it's like I'm in the healthy weight, but I'm getting close to like slightly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like
Texas is
Can't
hot.
be right.
Did you know that? Breaking news, Texas.
I've heard. And April
was very hot, but June, it's July now. June,
it is
April
July
wasn't
now.
as bad. May was hot.
May was hot. I feel
Actually,
like
May was pretty nice. June wasn't even terrible. July has been.
No, but I feel like this
crack of America.
So in April, I feel like it was shitty rainy spring, which we expect.
Mm-hmm.
We expect. Then we get to May, still rainy. And I'm like, we should be turning a leaf. We should be turning a leaf so that it's sunny. We should be turning a leaf so that it's summertime.
Yeah.
We get to June and July. I've seen the sun like 4 days. It's been rainy every fucking day. It's rainy. It's humid. It's
swampy. Do you know what the weather is here right now? 99 degrees this second.
That's disgusting.
And because I've shut the door, it's like warming up in this room too. So we kind of can't do a long show today anyway. So that's not going to be the end of the world. But I feel like I shouldn't have said that. Do you know what happens every time I say short show?
Oh, we end up doing like a long ass one.
You've made fun of me for this more than anybody else. If I do a show by myself, you'll literally send a text like, not Jimmy saying short show because it's just me today and then going 2 hours. She'll text me that shit. Or she'll be like, I was in the live last night. You said you were going to do a short show and it was 4 hours long.
Okay. Because I think it's funny and I love you. And also, I literally just told you a story too about how my boyfriend did the same thing. So maybe it's something in your genetics, something that's going on where you guys have no sense of time when you're on a roll, which is,
oh, that's
whatever.
true. When I'm in a debate, I've been telling you about these VR debates. I was in a VR debate the other night and it got to way late, as in like early in the morning late, like I want to say 5 a.m. And at like 4:50, while we were still going, and I was like, guys, okay, I gotta go. It's almost 5 a.m. This is crazy. I was like, and they were like, okay, yeah. And then one was like, okay, I just want to say as my last point, blah, 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 blah. And I swear I thought I just responded and was like, all right, it's probably what, 4:55 now? Look at the clock. It's 5:15. And I was like, I don't know how that happened.
Listen, I think you don't end up doing this kind of job without being a yapper.
Yeah.
I'm a yapper. You're a yapper. We're all yappers. And it's what makes this content so fun and interesting.
But speaking of yapper and things that rhyme with rapper, did you see Will Smith freestyling some bars on Reddit this week?
No.
I loved it. Do you want to know why I loved it? Because I found out I'm a better rapper than Will Smith. Not exactly the revelation of the century, but holy crap.
He's bad.
Not good. Not good. Also, his face, and I'm not trying to fat shame him because I don't think he's gaining weight, but his face is becoming a perfect circle.
No.
In a way, I almost think he got like cheek filler or something. There's something going on. He otherwise seems very fit, but his face is getting very
he might have. And I think like as we get older, our faces change and then celebrities will do stuff and then your face naturally is changing and you can't really keep it the same as it was when you were young and you shouldn't. I don't know. One of my favorite things.
He didn't age for so long. Yeah. And now he's not aging. He's
looking funky.
Changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's evolving.
And maybe he's resisting it. Which, by the way, that probably sucks for a person. Like to age so gracefully that when you're like at 50 years old, he looks, what is he now? Is he like 60, 62, something?
Probably.
How old is Will Smith? Oh my God, he's only 56. Okay, I'm taking back a lot of what I said because this changes a lot of time frames. Was he a teenager during Fresh Prince?
Yeah, he had to be.
I thought he was in his 20s because that's what they did with sitcoms back then. They pretended that these 30-year-olds could pass for 17.
No, but I think they did a little bit of...
He started at 22 in 1990.
Oh, okay. Like Mila Kunis was like 14 when she started.
She lied. Did you know about that?
Yeah,
she lied to get on there?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Mila.
One of my favorite like plastic surgery moment that we're having right now is the fact that Lindsay Lohan got a full fucking facelift. She looks great, but also not really like Lindsay Lohan. She looks like a person that if you saw her, you'd be like, oh, wow, you kind of look like Lindsay Lohan. But she doesn't look like Lindsay Lohan. But I appreciate that everyone, it's like, everyone has accepted that she did it, and no one's saying like, I love your facelift.
It's weirdly her voice we recognize now.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about her was a while back she had work done that did not look right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So whoever fixed it did a great job.
Needs a lot of, like, that's the guy everyone should go to. Because I'm telling you, like, I don't want to sound like a misogynist here or like a gossip thing or whatever, but I will spearhead the GoFundMe for Amanda Bynes.
Oh my God,
she deserves a happy rest of her. That girl has been put through it. And I watched her in the day she was dancing with lobsters in suits, right?
Me too.
I remember from all that and the Amanda Bynes show, those years. And I just feel like I want to take care of her, but not as her part. You know what I mean? I'm just like, what happened? And I'm sorry. And it's weird that you also dated Seth MacFarlane. So many people have dated Seth MacFarlane. Did you know
I did not. I don't like it.
I don't think I suspect Seth MacFarlane of foul play. Seth MacFarlane's also like the most politically, I'm pretty sure nobody's at his level as outwardly, at minimum, democratic socialist as he is. So I'm like, I'm not trying to, and plus I love the Orville, obviously Family Guy, people you can get in the comments, but well, that joke wasn't okay and that joke wasn't okay. But they also clearly are people who are improving even on the issue. They're not like South Park. It's like, oh, we may have had a bad trans take. Let's get worse. Their trans takes, while not perfect now, are getting better. Anyway, the number of people, he's dated like everybody. And I want to know why it doesn't work out. But in a way I don't, because nobody seems to like say it didn't work out because he was awful.
Yeah.
They just seem to say it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read you some of his exes?
Yeah, because that might help.
Amanda Bynes. Amelia Clark. I think we can all agree he can die now. How dare you date Amelia Clark?
No, truly. Truly.
She's ours. Who is Alexandra Breckenridge? Have you heard of her? She's an actress.
Does she have blue eyes? Brown hair, blue eyes?
Brown hair, yeah.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
Listen, Alexis Knapp.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Pitch Perfect. She was in a film called Project X. She's very pretty. Oh,
yeah. I watched Project X.
Ashley Greene played Alice Cullen in the Twilight movies famously. Krista Campbell.
Okay.
By the way, what's funny is a lot of these people, it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this if you're already dating. It would be, it's in the inverse, it could be wrong. If somebody's like, hey, these people all did voices on Family Guy at some point. At that point, you'd be like, okay, if he offered them on the condition of dating. But once you're dating somebody, I remember when I was a photographer years ago, somebody tried to make like a stink out of the fact that my girlfriend, who I hadn't photographed for the first half of our relationship, started appearing in my portfolio and tried to make it a thing of like, he only gives you free portfolio shoots if you're fucking him. And I'm like, well, kind of, yeah, Christ. Like, but not as a negotiating thing. It's like I do my job for a living, but at times I want to work on projects and maybe do something conveniently that I want in my portfolio. And so, I'm picking amongst the people around me. And by the way, you guys aren't mentioning that my roommate's in there a lot. I'm not fucking him as far as you know. So,
we've somehow looped back to the death of nuance.
I know.
My table's very shaky recently, and I feel like it wasn't, and now it is, and it's really annoying me. I'm going to figure it out.
Nicole Sullivan, she was from Mad TV. I don't know if you remember her from back in the day. Scrubs. She was funny. She's a funny lady.
I probably have to look her up.
Foster. I guess. I feel like I sold this more, and I'm giving a lot of names that most people won't recognize. But with pictures, you'd be like, oh, wait, I know. He's dated everyone that I'm like, I've seen them before.
Yeah. How old is he?
This is what's wild, because I didn't think it was going to be like, I didn't know he was so young when he got Family Guy, when the first episode of Family Guy came out. He is currently 51 years old. right? So, but the first episode of Family Guy, I want to make sure I get this right. The first episode of Family Guy comes out in 1999. So he was 26 when he launched the show Family Guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's not fun to think about when you're 35 and haven't achieved your dreams.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, have you seen the Sydney Sweeney thing?
Yeah, let's take a quick little break here. And I think we'll maybe save Sydney Sweeney for dessert. You know, something about. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by some jeans. No.
Oh my God.
No. You know what I want to talk about coming up? Would you believe a doctor's office? Would a doctor's office lose credibility to you if in their waiting room they had religious materials? Because I picked this up that I'm holding up, this pamphlet called Do All Roads Lead to God from my doctor's office yesterday. And when we return, I'll read it to you. Should doctors be allowing religions to promote in their waiting rooms? When we return.
Wow.
I'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by the amazing people on patreon.com/calltheline, where you can get the show ad-free and you get the extended episodes where we do bonus shows, which is most of the time. Head over to patreon.com/calltheline and sign up today. Would you like to be one of the cool people who can
Oh, that was well timed. Yeah, before the break, I was bringing up, I went to the doctor yesterday. Now, I will say this. I imagine it probably wasn't. So where I was technically was the waiting room where of a lot of doctors and a lot of like practitioners' assistants, nurse practitioners, whatever, all the physicians' assistants, whatever all those people are called. So it's like an HMO. Hospital clinic wing kind of thing. And so I don't know for a fact that a doctor made the call. And I didn't go and check what the rest of the pamphlets were. There may be several churches advertising there. But in the waiting room, next to the seat on a little table was a little pamphlet stand. And on it was this little kind of 2-page, one thing folded deal. Do all roads lead to God. And it's interesting because I was there and I noticed while I wasn't there to see a geriatric specialty doctor, a lot of very old people were in that waiting room, including at one point, this woman who was basically deaf. And I don't want to admit I found any of this funny, but her interactions with the staff because of the deafness, but also because she was clearly like 80 something and no longer gives a fuck, were pretty funny. Because there'd be somebody, let's say her name was Mrs. Anderson. I don't remember what it was, but they would be like standing in front of her and they'd be like, Mrs. Anderson, we need to take you back and weigh you. And she would be like, ma'am, I can't hear you. And they lead in, we have to take you back and weigh you. And she goes, you have to speak up. And so she like leads in and like says it in her ear and she goes, oh, but I'm here for my heart doctor. And she's like, yes, but they have to weigh you first. And she goes, I guess you wouldn't lie to me. I guess. Like,
iconic. I love her. Miss Girl needs to get a hearing aid. That's crazy.
That was my first question. Is like, you clearly brought her over from the hospice next door. They don't got hearing aids at hospice?
They gotta get her fitted for a hearing aid. That's no good.
The guy who dropped her off was like, hey, by the way, she's deaf, so you're going to have to talk really loud to, look, here's the thing. I saw her talk to a couple members of staff and how loud they had to speak for her to hear changed. So I think she also fucked with them a little bit because how loud she made that last lady yell, who I think had been annoying her at that point, was not how loud the man who checked her in had to talk or the woman who was like moving her between the, I don't know, the like checking area and she was in a wheelchair, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned all of that, but.
You did not. If I make it to my 80s.
Oh, I'll be fucking with all kinds of people.
Best believe I'm going to be a fucking menace. You think I'm a menace now?
Yeah.
Just strap in, because I'm going to be so annoying. And because I already don't really give a fuck. Could you imagine me at 80?
I see. My hard part is my experience wasn't interfered with because I was not technically a part of all of that. I don't know if even at 80 though, I could be technically. She slowed down that whole office that she was, and like people go before her and after her get like it's. And to that degree, I would understand a person being like, "This is pretty fucking awful." But anyway. So, do you want to read this pamphlet? It's quick.
Yes. Also, just off the jump, tremendously inappropriate to have that in a doctor's office. If I saw that there, I would not go back.
I think it's predatory. Oh, I don't. Predatory. As far as convenient locations inside my HMO, that's pretty much where I gotta go. But predatory for sure. All roads lead to God. Do all roads lead to God? So that's the question being asked. And I would like it if anyone could identify when that is answered in the material inside. We don't have to worry about the back because the back is just the advertisement for where to find the church that they want you to go in a different town, a town called Hutto. How does someone get to heaven? It's a question many people have asked, and it's actually a question that Jesus himself answered. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the only way to God. God knew we would never be able to find heaven on our own, so he sent Jesus to make a way for us to spend eternity with them. So have they actually answered, do all roads lead to God? No, they've offered you one road and asserted that that's the only way to God, but they haven't actually proven it. So follow or giving you a good reason to believe their answer is better than somebody's answer would be different. So then it goes, the Romans road. 1, recognize your condition. And by the way, I don't like the use of the word condition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't really want anyone to explain my state of being as my condition. I'm not a car.
Recognize your condition. For all have sinned and have come short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23. No one is good enough to go to heaven on his own merit. No matter how much good we do, we still fall short. Well, if God created us in his image, but he couldn't create a single individual good enough to return to him, kind of sounds like he sucks at making people.
Right.
Why is he making stuff so bad? If I'm a woodworker and I'm making a table and I can't create a single chair that fits comfortably at that table, I'm a shit woodworker. Like really bad at my job. It's like one of them's taller, one of them's practically on the floor. The seats are like slanted and sideways, so you're like getting in. One of them splits your butt cheeks. That's the one I like the most.
Oh my God. But we just had this conversation on Chewed Gum 3 days ago, talking to a guy, whatever, some theist. And I was like, you're telling me that this guy created all of his little sims and then he ran the simulation knowing that we would fail. And I'm supposed to, be like,
person.
Right. Everyone's going to fail. And I'm supposed to be like, let me into your club though.
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? He literally made us, and also, not only did he make us allegedly made us flawed human beings, then he also sets up little speed traps along the way. It's like, he'll tell you it's an open book test, and none of it's honest, and you have to read between the lines, and guess what? There are some parts of the open book tests. There's some parts of the open book test that are exactly what you say in the Bible. So, for instance, man and man shall not lay next to each other. We take that very literally. That we take out. And that one, with your open book test, you should know that that's when we take seriously. The thing about the shrimp, we don't take that seriously. And you should actually take the man and man laying together extremely seriously. If you've gone camping with another dude, I will kill you. Yes, exactly. If you've shared a hotel room on a business trip, you have to die. Exactly. And so that's what I think is most funny about it is I'm like, I understand it's an open book test, and also you have to just guess which requests are real. So is it fine for me to fuck a dude as long as we stand up? Bro, loophole. God made a lot of gay loopholes. Makes you wonder about God. Where's he putting his Willie? Maybe in some guy he made named Willie. Well, I would like to just say that God put the
G-spot?
he made the G-spot in the butthole for men.
It's in my butt.
So I have some questions about that. that perfect design of his.
Number 2, realize the penalty for sin. So I've created all of my creation destined to sin, and then I will punish them for it. For the wage of sin is death. Just as there are wages for good, there is punishment for wrong. The penalty for our sins is eternal death in a place called hell. What a nice guy. Do you play The Sims more or less responsibly than God does? You setting a lot of your Sims on fire?
No, not anymore.
Not
since my frontal lobe developed. Yeah, I'm not.
Just wish God would grow up.
I put ladders in the pool, and I'm nice
Which
to
Sims
my
you
Sims.
playing?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
How much would it cost if I wanted to get Sims 4 and all the expansions for my anniversary gift for my girlfriend?
So it depends. The base is like $40. Sometimes they do expansions with the base as like promos. And in general, they do like promos, like percentages off. Yeah. But there's gotta be 7 or 8 expansion packs that are like full expansion packs. And those are like, well, there's ones that are like $40. And then there's other little like kits. They call them kits, or they call them...
I thought this was going to set you off on a rant, honestly. That's why I was doing it. I was purposely trying to poke the bear. I thought you'd be like, oh my fucking God. If you wanted to buy everything, you'd have to be a millionaire.
It's a lot of money. And when I think about the amount of money that I've spent on The Sims, I'm a little embarrassed. But I really enjoy it. And what's also crazy about it is even getting all the expansion packs, downloading all of the kits, like EA has me. I'm hook, line, and sinker for Sims products. And yet, I still have to download custom content because the furniture and the wallpaper and the floors and whatever the decor they make is fugly. So then I still have to go through, and I literally, the first time I made my Patreon account was so that I could pay designers who are making wonderful CC for my Sims. And I still will pay for those. So
you're buying third-party
yes.
Sims packs too?
Yes.
So, to buy The Sims 4 and every add-on, expansion, game pack, stuff pack, and kit at full price.
Oh, yeah,
so
stuff. You're
mentioning like there's probably discounts, but
yeah,
you would spend an estimated $1,200 to $1,235. Base game free on most platforms since October 22, apparently.
Nice.
Deluxe and premium editions may cost extra. Total for all expansion packs, 14 of them, $560. Game packs, 12 of them, $240. Stuff packs, 18 of them, $180. And kits, 23 at $114 each. So.
That's not as bad as I thought it was gonna
It's pretty bad.
be. Though. I know
this is why a lot of people buy, like, I know people are going back and playing like The Sims 2 even.
Well, The Sims 4 is kind of a boring game, and I can't put my finger on why, because they'll do these expansion packs that have like new gameplay, but they're just you play it once and then I'm kind of over it, and I don't know why. Maybe like the
plus you have to add in the cost though. If you give this to somebody new who you know is going to love it, you have to add in the cost of a job for 3 or 4 months that they're not going to go to, and then however much time it will take them to get a job. So now we're talking about like tens of thousands of dollars.
Right. The most evil thing that EA did, and Origin, which is what used to host The Sims before EA, had their own little app. The most evil thing that they ever did was put a counter on the game. So when you go to play it, it will tell you how many hours you've played that game. It's like when you go to Applebee's and they put the calories. I'm not here to diet. Don't call me out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't want to know how many hours I've sunk into this game. The point of this game is I forget time. I'm
just wait until they realize they'll make more money if they just make the game with all things unlocked $20 a month instead of buy it. And what I don't even know that with EA, you probably still don't even own it. It's another one of those ones where you're leasing the digital rights to play it.
Why don't they do that?
Why haven't they done it yet? Because right now people are still suckers. They're getting there. Sims 5, I bet you will have a subscription model. It'll be like, we heard your feedback. You don't want to pay $1,200. So now with Sims 5, the base game is free. And for a mere, and you can do basically nothing with it. You can build a house and you can still kill your Sims. But for $20 a month, you will get, every month we will release a new expansion pack. Every other month we'll release a new kit, or every quarter we'll release a new expansion. Every this often a kit, blah, 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 blah. It'll be that kind of shit. That's what it do.
I'd be down for that because I probably wouldn't pay for it like consistently, but like, because there are times where I think like,
it'll probably be like $20 a month if you pay for a year in advance.
Oh, right.
Otherwise it's like $25 a month.
Do you like how I'm fully considering this subscription model that doesn't exist? I'm literally like...
Well, it exists on so many things. This is why like Pokemon... I know,
but for The Sims, I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, well, I don't play it like every month, I don't think anymore, because I just am like kind of busy. So like maybe I could play... But then would they take... This doesn't exist. So I don't need to go through this entire mental gymnastics to figure it out. Anyway,
yeah,
Pokemon.
I want to look up something. You keep talking for a second.
Okay. Well, I think generally it was Matrix and then EA. And I don't know the clothes that they make for The Sims, fugly. The hair that they make for The Sims, fugly. The furniture, the decor, fugly. All of it. And then you go and you see these independent creators and they make the most gorgeous custom content I've ever seen. It's like rustic tile and it's gorgeous and the colors are perfect and like Scandinavian color wall paint and it's perfect. And I'm like, you all need to get hired by EA or Matrix or whoever it is now. Just who are they hiring that's making all of this ugly stuff? Stop giving me weird Art Deco stuff. I didn't ask for this. Give me a goddamn sectional. Why do I have to download that in custom content?
Speaking of things like this, the new Trainwreck hit Netflix last week, I think, and it's The Cult of American Apparel. It's pretty good. And then there's now also there's a new Trainwreck for Trainwreck itself sucks. Like they clearly like they usually have 50 minutes of content that they drag out to an hour, just like they did with Balloon Boy. But I still like the topics they're covering. And they just did one that's on Area 51 also. The like trying when everybody went to rush Area 51 or whatever. Remember that thing?
Yeah. I
gotta watch that one still. Anyway, here is the point about like shitty subscriber digital content buying shit that's not real shit. Here's the bow on it. Pokemon has a very famous game series, right? It started with yellow, blue, and red, and then every couple of years they come out with the new generation. That's when they announce the new Pokemon, and they have been extremely good selling games ever since their inception. People are always stoked. And in the last few generations, people are like, why isn't there as much like hype leading up? Why aren't they as dedicated? Why do the games sometimes feel like they're just crapping out ideas or whatever? I'm not even joking. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out in 24, or did they come out in 25? What was the release date of Scarlet and Violet? And it made in the time, okay, wait. Scarlet and Violet came out in November of 2022. So it'll be 3 years this coming November. And in that time, it made $1.6 billion. Wow. Pokemon Go. Do you remember Pokemon Go? Mm-hmm. Pokemon Go hasn't really been popular in the way that it was, at least people think. People aren't playing it as much as like when it launched, right? Like when it first came out, it was the biggest thing in the world. And then now you don't even hear if people are playing it. Turns out a lot of people are still playing it, including myself and my girlfriend. We'll go on Pokemon Go days.
You want to know how I know that? Because you guys said something about Pokemon Go, and I said, do people still play that game? And then I felt really bad because you guys still play it.
And now you're going to feel not just bad, but also dumb. In the same period of time, so if Pokemon, the main series, the actual like series of games that launched the whole phenomenon, the most important part of the IP, made $1.6 billion since November of 2022. In that same period of time, Pokemon Go has more than doubled it, nearly tripled it.
Wow.
Pokemon Go, which is free to play, but they sell you like little missions you can do and content packs of like items that will help you in your journey, balls, raid passes, these kinds of things. $4.26 billion since November of 2022.
That's crazy.
The $1.6 billion number I gave you is an estimate based on how many units have sold if they mostly sold at full price, because they don't usually discount the price of those games, but directly like to them. So that number is actually even probably inflated, where there's actually reported numbers from Pokemon Go. Yeah, they literally make billions more dollars.
That's crazy.
Nearly 3 times.
No one can afford anything, so everything's on everyone wants everything on payment plans because it feels better to have a smaller amount every month than it feels to have one big lump sum.
Right.
Which is not smart, and it's getting us in further in the hole. And
people forget, and they don't download an app to, I'm not going to promote any specific one because none of them are paying me to, but to go in and go like, hey, here are there are free apps out there that'll say, here are all the subscriptions you're paying for monthly. Did you know that? And it basically has an algorithm that scans your bank statements and goes like, this is coming back, this is coming back, this is coming back kind of thing. And it'll help you budget and shit too. Anyway, it's awful. Let's keep reading this stupid pamphlet, and then we'll talk about Sydney Sweeney's jeans. Believe Christ died for you. Christ's great love for us was shown when he died on the cross to pay our sin debt. Trust Christ alone as your savior. Everlasting life is a gift purchased by the blood of Jesus and offered freely to those who call upon them. And then it's got this, by faith pray and ask Jesus to come into your heart and save you. Come in me, Jesus. Know that it is not the prayer that saves you, but your faith in Jesus and what he already did on the cross. If you made a decision for Christ, we would love to know about it. Please call us at this number, where we're totally not going to try to get you here so we can get your money. Predatory, stupid, but also doesn't actually answer the question, do all roads lead to Christ? Because you haven't actually evaluated any road claim but your own and shown you didn't actually demonstrate that your road claim is correct, nor did you show that any other road claim is wrong. And also, you haven't even shown that there is a road to God in the first place. The whole pamphlet sucks.
Yeah.
In my doctor's office. Fucking weird.
I just know some 50-year-old woman who can really only work Microsoft Word. She wrote the copy for that. You know?
And then there's some old lady who's crying, like, this was the sign I was looking for. I gotta go give them all my money, because they're predatory assholes. When we come back, I guess we'll actually talk about some of the news and the Sydney Sweeney controversy and her jeans, as though anybody was ever looking at her pants. Can we start there? Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
I have stuff to say about that.
I got stuff to say too. I wonder if we'll be on the same page or if we'll be across the... It'll be interesting to see. We'll see if we agree or disagree. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Would you like to be one of the cool people who can prove they were supporting this podcast right from the beginning? Well, you can. Head over to linemerch.com. That's linemerch.com, and pick up some Founders merch for The Line as a podcast that will only be available for a short time and features the rough draft drawn logo that soon will be updated to look less like it was drawn by a 3-year-old. That's linemerch.com.
Wow, I did that at exactly the time that you started it.
I don't know whether that'll line up in the recording, because it didn't line up in the stream, but it could.
Damn. Okay, well, in my headphones, I did it at exactly the same time. That was very satisfying to me.
Hell yeah. All right. Sydney Sweeney. In a lot of trouble because they have a Sydney Sweeney has great jeans campaign. And in the extended video, it's talking about what jeans could be. Some people, your jeans might mean you have great hair or great eyes or blah, blah, blah. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans and they're blue. And it's a joke because the jeans, they're blue jeans. They're JEANS, not GENES. Anyway, now the internet is alight with controversy, as this seems to have a sort of eugenics-y sort of flavor to the whole thing. And it is the biggest thing ever. And this is clearly a very purposeful attempt to bring back the Third Reich. It's my understanding.
So I first want to say, there's no fucking way that Sydney Sweeney put this together. So I think people need to like, maybe Sydney Sweeney should like make a statement.
American Eagle said she was it was her vision. Did you see that little thing they put out before it all hit? But
so then that's concerning to me because I know that her parents are like super MAGA. And there was a time where it was like her dad's birthday and she posted like pictures and videos just like celebrating her dad's birthday, and people saw MAGA hats all in the background and they were like, is your family Trump supporters? And then she was like, I don't talk about politics online and like, it's my family, it's not whatever. And she like really deflected. And so now I'm worried that American Eagle said it was her direction. Because my first thought was like, there's no fucking way. This girl's schedule is like in 15-minute increments and she just showed up, did the thing she had to do and left. But it is concerning that she had any say in it. Even with all the other stuff, any idea that this was a purposeful thing, it so smells of like, oh, you know what's a fun pun? Yeah. Jeans. But here's the thing. I'm not even going to defend that the campaign and that, you know, someone should have noticed this is eugenics-y, all that. It is at best super dumb. That's this idea that it's like, no, this is the return of Nazism and you normalizing it is fucked up. Shut up and go touch every piece of grass, you dumbass. Because here's my biggest problem with it. Epstein. You know what the most important point about the jeans and Sydney Sweeney is? Epstein. Yeah. Because this is the dumbest fucking distraction. From who gives a fuck? It was who cares? It's a dumb. Even if it was like a piece of content that was meant to like, if that was their intention, which I agree with you, there's no fucking way that people on marketing teams were like, let's just slip a little message of eugenics in there. Like there's no way. They definitely were trying to. They were thoughtless. Somebody should be there being like, should we say that? Yes, they should. Yeah. But I mean, the problem is, I'm sure that they were in a marketing room sitting in there in that little container and not considering how, like the political climate when they're making a good jeans campaign, you know? But one of my friends put in her close friend story, she like zoomed in on, this is mean. I'm going to preface this by saying this is mean, but she zoomed in on Sydney Sweeney's butt and they were like, they chose good jeans for Sydney Sweeney to do jeans? And I thought that was I think everybody went and said, like, funny. I think everybody saw that was like, if they were doing jean vests or jean jackets or jean bustiers, jean bras. Right. Jean bras. But that would make sense. The I good don't jeans even think of Sydney Sweeney. I think racists are usually like, I don't know, I usually like a girl with a little more cake back there, if you know what I'm saying. She has a long back. That's what she has back there. And that's fine. But it is funny that beautiful woman, whatever, you know. Yeah, gorgeous. And we know that, by the way, even the good jeans, if it had something to do with her, we also know from like her own mouth and like interviews from people who are working at Saturday Night Live and stuff, she's obsessed with this idea that she has the greatest boobs in the world. She literally thinks that she, I assume via genetics, has inherited the grandest boobs. They're good boobs, right? But they are good boobs. They're good, but they're not the best ones. There are better ones out there. There are better boobs. Look, most boobs are amazing. Like, but listen, I'm not saying that she's got. Listen, it's just like what makes her better than the other ones? Because it's kind of like, and if anything, at some point, if your boobs even are adopted as among the best, they start to become a sort of standard in beauty, and they become boring. Nobody wants the best because if everybody adopts it as a standard, think about the way we feel about flat butts now, and yet. That was all the rave and music videos when I was growing up. I went back and I watched the Jessica Simpson, These Boots Are Made for Walk-In music video. That's so weird because that's exactly, that's so weird because that's exactly, as you were talking about like flat butts and like perfect bodies and stuff, so that's skinny. Exactly what came into my brain. Yeah, crazy. And it became the standard and then it became, I'm not even joking. I'm like, thank goodness she got hot because Jessica Simpson put on weight. I was like, first of all, you're eating a burger in this ad and you definitely didn't actually eat that burger. You know what I'm saying? You were forced to have an eating disorder to be in Hollywood. Skinny. Yeah. And now we're like re-entering that vibe with all the people. You don't want to become the standard of beauty anyway, because that just means 10 years from now, it's either boring or repulsive. It's like, it's also like just a crazy concept to have bodies be trending. Like why
but I do think she has like that whole belief system she has about having, I guess, like it is, you are so public about it that you're definitely promoting this concept of people should get some sort of value or be identified as more or less valuable based on how their body compares to another person's body. Undoubtedly, that's like gross and they're gross things. But here's what I would bring it all back to. The president is probably a pedophile.
Right.
And of the things that they've tried to distract from. Now, look, we also have gotten, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's unfortunate that most people can't walk and chew gum at the same time because the Trump is probably a pedophile thing. Because of that, we kind of dropped the big, beautiful bill and what a wreck that was.
Yeah.
And this has adequately distracted from that. And it's too bad we can't do both. But the number of you fucking people who can't do Sydney Sweeney is clearly the personification of Hitler's ideal. And the president's probably a pedophile is crazy.
Yeah.
The way that this has been the most distracting thing, had the ability to like take up. CNN covered it, and I'm not joking. They had a woman on. They were like, "So did American Eagle do this on purpose?" And she was like, "Absolutely. They did this because outrage marketing works, and in the end, they end up in a better position and make the dollars." And it's literally like, I don't think look. I know outrage marketing does work, but usually with a limit.
Yeah. And
very rarely is Nazi inside that limit.
Right.
Eugenics is rarely inside the limit. Astronomer, more brand awareness than ever right now. Okay. They're probably going to make a lot of money off of the fact that their CEO had an affair with their head of HR.
Yes.
That's outrage. And they didn't even do that on purpose, but that would be like outrage reaction that benefits the company in the end. By the way, did you see the way they are handling that?
Don't they have a new CEO?
Yes, but did you see their new like PR campaign? Do you know who they hired to be the voice of their new PR campaign?
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow. If she wasn't a garbage, okay, but she's such a bad person is my problem. Like it is so ironic and funny.
So
Chris
funny.
Martin, Coldplay's ex-wife, doing the little like voiceover, talking to the camera thing, and that is very funny. But Gwyneth Paltrow is a bad person. Gwyneth Paltrow is an awful cultish leader kind of bad person.
Yeah,
and
she sucks, for sure.
My heart goes out to anything which might destroy her company. You know? My heart goes to your future. Yeah. My heart goes out. And I'm going to say it with a direct to the camera.
Right.
And I'm not going to fling my arm around.
Sure.
My heart goes out to anything that might bring her poverty one day.
You know, the good news is she eats a big gulp of air.
Yeah.
For breakfast.
Yeah.
And pretty much nothing else the rest of the day. So I think the money that she will have left will last her for quite some time.
Scented by a vagina candle. That's the big gulp of air that she, Oh, man.
Iconic.
Guys, stop being fucking distracted. Trump's probably a fucking... And now the stuff they're admitting to now is fucking crazy. Apparently, Epstein, Trump had nothing to do with that whole racket. Now, did Epstein keep recruiting girls from Donald Trump's employ? Which, by the way, up until that admission, people were always saying like, no, he hated Epstein. He kicked him out for being creepy. No, it turns out it wasn't for being creepy. It was apparently a pride thing about you keep stealing our employees.
Our spa employees.
He was mad that the little girls that they were hiring at their spa, the 15-year-old girls that were spa workers, working the locker room attendants, 15-year-old, is that an appropriate 15-year-old girl job?
I don't even know how that's legal. Like, I know you can get working papers, but I just don't buy the, I don't know.
I have to assume she was only an attendant in the women's room. I fucking sure hope so.
Fucking hope so.
And I guess that means Jelaine went in that room and was like, but then is immediately underage hired as the quote unquote personal masseuse to Jeffrey Epstein, Virginia Giuffre, the one who is dead now. Where it's literally like, oh no, I had nothing to do with that. Total separation. Now, were the girls under my employ? Yes, they were, but he took them, and that was a line too far. It's almost like he keeps admitting that he knew exactly what Jeffrey, even if somehow a miracle happens, if somehow all the smoke and it turns out it wasn't a fire, it was just smoldering whatever. And he didn't ever physically fuck anyone under 18 himself, which seems like a big if.
Yeah.
I don't think you can convince anybody at this point that there isn't an incredible amount of evidence that points to he was aware and did nothing about Jeffrey Epstein being a pedophile.
Agreed. And it's one of my favorite parts of this story, just continuing to be in the news cycle, is that the longer it's in the news cycle, the more we give Trump an opportunity to fuck up and slip up and say something insane, like stealing the spa workers and that kind of thing. Like, this is like part of the reason why I think it's so important that we keep it in the news cycle, because he will continue to implicate himself.
Yeah. Over and over and over.
Over and over and over again.
This guy. Oh my God, I'm ready to be done. No bonus show today, but next week's bonus show, I believe we will be discussing the awful YouTube channel Jubilee and the Mehdi Hassan.
Yes.
Face off against 20 what was supposed to be conservatives, but ended up actually being like mostly fascists. Some of which willing to say so, clapping their hands. Hell yeah, brother.
Cheering. Imagine that.
The noise in my hands is the enthusiasm I have for how bad my penis is. My dick does not work.
Everyday Jubilee challenges my Wellbutrin prescription. Every day. It's literally a fight between Jubilee and my Wellbutrin.
Yeah. And they're going nowhere. We talked about this last night, and I was like, I have mentioned I turned them down. If I was offered today, now they're solidified. We've lost that. And so the calculus that I would have to do is, what would do more good? Taking a stand and not doing it, or doing it and taking as much of their audience as possible to our better platform where we do actual good?
Yeah.
Which would it be? It'd be a hard calculus, and that sounds like I'd probably end up doing it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, we'll talk about it more.
Okay, bye. Sorry.
Bye.
Bump.